Gentlemen, I'm about to teach you how to reverse and prevent hair loss forever. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you the number one protocol the clinical staff and I use at Labify Health to not only prevent hair loss, but to attack it at its root cause. Because here's the thing, no one is asking you why you're losing your hair in the first place. The conventional treatments like Finasteride may work, but I cannot tell you how many men are left with life-altering side effects from them. If you're curious about this, look at post-finasteride syndrome on Reddit, or just a simple Google search of that will leave you terrified, because DHT is not a hormone you want to block lightly. It is essential for mental health, sexual health, motivation, drive, and just overall enjoyment of life. So now let's take a look at what might be causing your hair loss to begin with. First and foremost, we have poor scalp circulation. Your hair follicles are tiny living organisms that require a steady supply of oxygen, nutrients, and hormones to grow. This supply is delivered via blood flow. So when you have poor blood circulation, your hair follicles never get the nourishment that they need. What causes this can be a number of things. Most commonly, you see stress, high blood pressure, and a sedentary lifestyle. But here's where things get a bit tricky, because it also could be thyroid dysfunction, toxins, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, magnesium deficiencies, iron deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, and a whole lot more. So getting to the bottom of what is causing your blood flow, circulation issues, or what could be causing your hair loss to begin with, all starts with blood work. Because in order to attack this with precision, you need to know exactly what you are attacking. So what we like to do is first start by testing a core blood panel. In this panel, we test thyroid markers. More specifically, we test TSH, free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. We test iron markers like ferritin, iron, total iron binding capacity. We test metabolic markers like fasting insulin, glucose, and hemoglobin A1C. We test the sex hormone markers like DHEAS, total and free testosterone, and estradiol. And then inflammation markers like HSCRP and homocysteine. And alongside that, we recommend everyone get their blood pressure checked. This is a very easy thing you can do, typically at like CVS for free. And it just allows us to have more biomarkers in terms of exactly where we could target our treatment, because the more precision you have, the less you have to do. Because what most people get wrong is they take a kitchen sink approach and they think I need to be applying a million different things on my hair, taking Nutrafol and a million different other supplements. But the issue is when you throw the kitchen sink at something, you create more issues alongside of it, and you never attack things at the root of why they are that way to begin with, which is why lab testing allows us to just have that extra layer of precision to know, okay, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing inflammation markers really high. That means there might be something going on in your gut or in your diet that could be causing your hair loss to begin with. So what that lab work does is just allow us to have an approach that we can be confident in, because we know it's coming from your blood and not coming from our human biases we have. You know, the carnivore is going to tell you going carnivore is going to solve all your problems. The vegan is going to tell you going vegan is going to solve all your problems. But why we love blood work so much is it just takes out the human bias from that part of the equation, and we can allow ourselves to see things much more objectively. Now, these are the core blood markers that we use, but there is another layer to this. With functional medicine testing, we can see an even higher resolution picture of what's going on with your health and use that to create a very tailored approach to you, because these tests allow us to see things like gut health and what's going on with your microbiome. Do you have specific strains of bad bacteria that could be wreaking havoc and leading to hair loss? Is this something like a micronutrient deficiency? And then something like toxins, which do you have heavy metals? Do you have mold? These things that could be causing poor blood flow circulation that then leads to hair loss. So the three tests that I just kind of alluded to there that we see to have the most value in the context of hair loss is one, just a simple micronutrient test from SpectraCell. This tests for over 31 vitamins and minerals and just gives us a complete picture into what's going on from a micronutrient standpoint within the body. Number two is a total tox burden test from Vibrant Wellness. This is the gold standard test for mold, heavy metals, and environmental toxins, which just allow us to rule that part of the equation out. And just for general health, this is a great test because we are flooded with toxins from a daily perspective now. So the more you can just rule out and see where your body may be struggling with detoxification can provide great insight into what you should be doing, whether that's sauna, whether that's supplementation, whether that's diet. This test just allows us to get a clear picture into the toxins. And then lastly, we have the GI effects test from Genova Diagnostics. There is a very strong connection between poor gut health and hair loss. So what this test does is it just allows us to have a better picture into digestion, inflammation, and microbiome imbalances. And why I love this test in particular is we can see what strains of bad bacteria may be high, because what works well at getting rid of one strain might not work as well in getting rid of another strain. So you can be even more precise with what strain of bacteria we're targeting and the approach we use, whether that's oil of oregano or berberine, some of these different things that some bacteria respond really well to and others are really resilient to. So this just allows us to have, yet again, more precision with the approach. And if you want guidance on what to test for your specific situation, or you want an experienced practitioner to help guide you through implementing a lot of these solutions, click the link in the description and my team and I, led by Dr. Sam Sowat, would be happy to help. But before you run even a single lab test, there are very important foundational elements that apply to everybody. These are at the core of hair health, and it all starts with eating a whole foods, nutrient-dense diet and limiting the amount of processed foods. You want to limit the hidden stressors that your body is experiencing, and the more you can eliminate these things that your body doesn't immediately recognize and are causing inflammation, the better off you're going to be. The next one is just going to be covering your micronutrients, whether that is a methylated multivitamin or using something like Chronometer to track your micronutrients. You also want to avoid massive blood sugar spikes. This will just do wonders for preventing insulin resistance, especially in combination with the first two. The next one is very simply just getting enough protein in. You want to get 0.7 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. This will do wonders for all the things, whether that is preventing insulin resistance, whether that is just overall getting the nutrients to the hair and allowing the body to be strong and resilient. The next one is getting sunlight on your skin and scalp daily. Vitamin D is crucial for hair loss, and there is a very strong correlation between low vitamin D levels and hair loss. And that correlation happens for a number of reasons, whether that's inflammation or direct impact. Vitamin D is something that you can't even measure how strong of an impact it plays on a number of things in the body, and hair loss being one of those. And then you have infrared light. This infrared light, you're seeing all these great studies now using the infrared light devices on hair regrowth. And, the strongest, most effective way to get that red light is by going out in the sun. Sunlight does get a bad rap, but as long as you're not burning, I think it could do wonders for both overall health, but also for hair loss, especially. Next one is very simply just being active. The more you can be out walking, lifting, playing sports, and just moving around, the better off you're going to be. It plays a huge role in circulation, but just overall health. And I think that that is one of the biggest keys that you'll see throughout this video is all things report back to general health. And the better general health you're going to have, the better your hair is going to be, the stronger your hair is going to be. All these things that we're doing to increase hair growth and to prevent hair loss are going to be huge in just staying healthy and being healthy to begin with. And that leads us into one thing that we have yet to mention, but plays a massive role in blood flow. And people do not like it when I mention this one. They get quite upset, and that is nicotine. Nicotine is a very potent vasoconstrictor, meaning it reduces blood flow. So when it's used in excess, it can have a very strong negative effect on hair loss. So that really covers everything I wanted to talk about from the inside out approach. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to include what I consider the best topical solutions in the description below. So be sure to check that out. And if you need any help with knowing what to test, getting these tests, or the implementation of the tests, click the link in the description and my team and I will be happy to help. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.